Breaking weekend news. The Senate dropped an unexpected bombshell on Trump. And how do you know it's a bombshell? Because Republican social media is going crazy. Republican politicians are at each other's throats, and there are bodies lying everywhere. As well as Mike Johnson just flat out lying. And so what's this all about? It's about recess appointments for Trump's cabinet. Recess appointments are going to be a big deal because Trump has nominated at least four of the weakest nominees in the history of this country. And not one of them has any experience running a federal agency. But these people are just more than weak nominees. They were nominated because of their willingness to destroy the very agencies they are tasked with. Take, for example, Florida Congressman and accused sex trafficker Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is one of the outrageous appointments, and his nomination temporarily suspended the release of the ethics investigation against him for sex trafficking minors. But the Bulwark reported that Trump chose Gaetz for another reason. They wrote, "None of the attorneys had what Trump wants, and they didn't talk like Gaetz. Everyone else looked at AG as if they were applying for a judicial appointment. They talked about their vaunted legal theories and constitutional BS. Gaetz was the only one who said, 'Yeah, I'll go over there and start cutting effing heads.'" So Gaetz as Attorney General to get rid of the Civil Rights and Antitrust divisions. Pete Hegsworth, nominated for Secretary of Defense to get rid of all career generals and replace them with Trump loyalists. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, who will provide Russia with state secrets, and the junior version of RFK to get rid of the Department of Health and Human Services. And while the corporate mainstream media may try and sane-wash all that by discussing controversial nominees, that is simply the 2025 plan in action that the mainstream media is choosing to ignore. Well, here's who's not ignoring it: the corporate wing of the Republican Party. This weekend, Jane Mayer of The New Yorker tweeted this bombshell. Message to Trump team: there will be no recess appointments. Senator Mitch McConnell said tonight at a Washington gathering. But here's where the plot thickens. As Fox News host Elizabeth McDonald reported, Mayer ended up deleting that post. She wrote, New Yorker staff writer Jane Mayer deleted this tweet below, but not before it got 243,000 views, saying Senator Mitch McConnell said no to any recess appointments for President-elect Trump's cabinet. McConnell is no longer Senate Majority Leader. Senator John Thune is, and he has made known his support for this. Okay, so that sends us running back to Senator Thune, the former Mitch McConnell lieutenant who is Republican Majority Leader. Now, since his election to Majority Leader, Thune said recess appointments were on the table. But by Friday, it was being reported that things have changed. Here's the kind of crazy MAGA social media posts that went out on Friday. Senate Leader John Thune said today that there are not enough votes to pass a recess, which would have allowed Trump's appointments to take their posts without a hearing. So Gaetz and the others will have to go in front of committees and be grilled. MAGA World is so upset that they put sanctimonious Speaker Johnson onto Fox News to obfuscate about creating a recess. Watch this.
Would you take steps to put things into recess so those appointments could happen?
Listen, I believe in the principle of a new president being able to choose his team, and that used to not be a controversial notion. We're in a time of very divided government and a very partisan atmosphere in Washington. I wish it were not. I wish the Senate would simply do its job of advice and consent and allow the president to put the persons in his cabinet of his choosing. But if this thing bogs down, it would be a great detriment to the country, to the American people. Remember, they just delivered a mandate to the president, an overwhelming popular vote victory and of course, electoral college victory. And they have sent the message that America First policies should be the rule of the day. So the persons that the president is choosing will help with that agenda. They will take their leadership in these agencies and they will reform them as the people expect and demand. So we'll evaluate all that at the appropriate time and we'll make the appropriate decision. There may be a function for that, and we'll have to see how it plays out.
You'll note that Johnson did not lie here, but he also failed to speak the truth. that as House Speaker, he does not have the power to call the Senate into recess. The only power he has over the Senate is to check their porn consumption when they sign on to his app. The bodies and the lies are flying around everywhere in this mad scramble over recess appointments for Trump's clown car cabinet. So what is really going on here? It's this. The corporate wing of the Republican Party is trying to control the craziness in the interest of corporate America. Getting rid of health and human services so that we are vulnerable to another pandemic? Not good for business. Having a pipeline for classified information to get to Russia? Not good for business. Creating a partisan military which would then have power and authority over the corporate state, including the price of military hardware? Not good for business. A lot of pundits out there are saying that Gates is just the sacrificial lamb for the others to get appointed. But the fact of the matter is, corporate America has made clear to the corporate wing of the Republican Party that neither Kennedy, Gabbard, Gates, nor Hegsworth are acceptable. So just as MAGA fears, Thune will throw up his hands and say, I don't have the votes for recess. And after intense grilling and finger pointing at Democrats and lots of stern consternation and chest beating, Thune will throw his hands up in the air and say, we don't have the votes for confirmation. If corporate America has learned anything from the German past, it's that you should never give the wannabe tyrant enough power to throw you in jail one by one for not being loyal enough, and finding the courts too weak to stand up to political purges. So it may just be possible that corporate greed and self-interest may just become a surprise guardrail for the orange landmass from Queens who dreams of being king. I'm Anthony Vincent Gallo for Occupy Democrats.